Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and this is the KBO and NPB. This is your home for baseball in Japan and South Korea. Now, it was a great day yesterday because we went with the Bears. Under 4.5 goals in the first 5. Good. No runs. No runs in the first 5. And then we hit 6 in the 6. They got the memo. They got the job done. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we will notify you and you'll never miss any content again. And if you press a link in the description, it will take you over to Jay's articles. Jay informs me that he's got 2 articles. So you're going to have some fun over there. And he always puts a little bit more meat on the bone, or he gives you a little bit more left field. And sometimes he throws in a little CPBL. Do you remember that? CPBL, that's months ago. Now, also remember, we've only got 2 shows to go to the KBO, because on Thursday, the big boys are back in town. Not just the big boys in Donny sitting in my seat or our seat, but the big talented boys of the MLB. Jay, how are you, sir? And more wins and losses means wins.
Yeah, we had a lot more wins and losses on the show, but I decided to play around and be a little silly and do a parlay with the Hawks included in 2 of them. So it was a one unit loss for me on the day. But overall, for most people that watched the show and for just KBO followers, they destroyed. Of course, the KBO has been really great to us throughout the entire season. And yeah, we're going to keep it going.
Yeah, we've got 2 more shows to go, so let's have some fun. The big one yesterday, obviously, it's one of those. Who are the Eagles playing? Let's go. Minus 1.5, and the Tigers absolutely smashed the Eagles.
Yeah, that was an exciting game for the Tigers. Obviously, I was on minus 1.5, but I got a little scared towards the start of the game, and instead I went with just the money line in a parlay. They did that for me, but the Hawks didn't get the job done. So, of course, I lost because I was playing stupid. So don't play stupid. Don't be me. Don't be me, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, don't be too self-critical, because there are plenty of people in the chat, and you'll find this out over the few months, that when you're winning, everyone loves you. When you give a loser, but you're still winning, people want to have a moan. But listen, we've got great people in the chat, and you are our second guest. So please, you've been absolutely superb. Keep your leans, your tips, your bankers, your moans, your praise. Keep it all coming through. Let's kick straight off with the Twins and the Wiz. High scoring game, but when you're 8-1 up, you've got to get the job done, Jay.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. So many emotions just going back and forth in that one, with the Twins up 8-1, then losing 10-9 off a walk-off home run. Crazy game. Mel Rojas had 2 home runs in that game. He's the best player in the KBO without a doubt. So it was a lot of fun to watch for sure. I'm just happy that I didn't have any wagers on that game, because I was thinking the LG Twins would end up winning that game. And I'm just glad I didn't take the LG Twins for my KBO picks. But anyway, on this game, we got Lee Min-ho on the mound going up against William Cuevas of the KT Wiz. I think this is the best pitching matchup of the morning, or you want to call it afternoon, night, whatever you want to call it. I think it's the best pitching matchup in the KBO with Min-ho. He's got a 1.80 ERA and a 4 FIP. Min-ho is a rookie pitcher who's been phenomenal throughout his entire season so far. Not one time has he pitched, allowing more than 3 runs and just 2 earned runs in every single start. So he's been really good. Then William Cuevas, on the other hand, in 5 starts, 4 of them have been wins, and then the other one was a bad loss to Klwoom. But since his injury, he's been so much better as of late, just tearing down bad opponents, and he looks really good doing it. So my official play for this one is under 4.5 in the first 5. A lot of offense early in this morning's game, but I don't think there will be much in this one. So under 4.5 first 5. And I might even go with LG at plus 110, around plus 115 as an official play as well. I'm starting to just kind of get away from the NPB a little bit and add a little bit more of the KBO, because the NPB is just impossible. And I think after the show is over, I think we're going to see mainly I'm going to stick with just KBO and not really worry about NPB, because a lot of people don't really care for the NPB anymore since it's been so brutal to everyone. But KBO has been a lot of fun. Yeah, so LG plus 115 as well.
If I can give you just a little bit of advice from my advanced years, it's when you stick your finger in a dog's mouth and it bites you, You don't keep sticking your finger in the dog's mouth. Now, we're going to go to the heroes and bears. And before I come to you, Jay, get yourselves in the chat and tell me you want to go with the heroes to beat my bears. Okay? Now, Jay, heroes and bears, please.
Yeah, I'm going to be those guys in the chat. Let me just go chat for a second. But, yeah, I'm going to go with leaning towards Klwoom here at -105. I'll even look at leaning towards under 10.5 in this matchup. And here's my reasoning. Park Chi-guk on the mound for Doosan. This will be his first start of the season. 25 games, no starts, just 25 relief appearances, 2.76 ERA and a 4.29 FIP. But again, he's more of a relief pitcher. And with Klwoom, they have Choi Won-tae on the mound, 4.73 ERA and a 5 FIP. Now, don't get me wrong, Choi Won-tae has been pretty bad his last two starts, but going into Jazz Mill Stadium, I do think that his numbers will be better in this field, and I do think that he'll rebound from his previous two starts. So I would go with Klwoom here. Again, I'm staying away from this game because there's a lot better options out there compared to a Doosan Klwoom game that where the line is -110, pick 'em. So staying away from that game, we'll go on to others.
Okay, just let me take you back to the Twins and the Wiz, because V Berry's saying that you went under 4.5 first five, but there's under 5.5 in the first five available. So V Berry, can you put a bit more meat on the bone, please, and let us know where that 5.5 and what the juice is? And while we're doing that, we'll go to the absolute, well, I'd say that it's like an hors d'oeuvre, but it's like a main course and a dessert. So let's find the Tigers versus the Eagles.
Yeah, so again, I mean, we're going to fade the Eagles, of course. The Tigers hit the over by themselves. So they scored double-digit runs. Hanwha scored no runs, and the over still hit in that game due to the Hanwha Eagles pitching not being so good. So again, I'll lean towards Kia at -1.5. I'd also, look at potentially going over 9.5 in this matchup. What does scare me in this matchup is Kim Min-woo going on for Hanwha. He had a pretty bad start in his last outing, but he wasn't too bad throughout the last couple of months. So it is a little risky for me if you're going to actually make a play on this game. Yang Hyun Jung of Kia has been awful. This guy was one of the better pitchers in the league last season, but he's been so bad, has had some really bad starts in those last couple of starts as well. So, I'd go Kia -1.5. I'd even look at over 9.5. And if you want to even get a little bit more risky, you go look at Hanwha over on their team total as well. It's probably going to be low, around 2.5 or 3.5 in this one. So if that's the case, then definitely look at Hanwha on the team total.
Okay, yeah, I mean, listen, the over 9.5, that looks like a possibility, especially if the Eagles actually put bat on ball. Now, let's go with the Lions and the Dinos.
Yeah, this one, another one we had in 10th inning. Dinos came back and won the game.
That's what good teams do, though, Jay, don't they?
So.
That's what good teams do. They find a way to win.
Yeah. And then that's what we said. They had the worst pitcher on the mound, but we knew we're getting a good value with them being at home. They can definitely, figure it out and get the win at home, and that's what they did. So good job to the Dinos there. I wish I would have taken it, but of course we didn't. So on this one, I also like under 4.5 in the first five. We have Won-tae in on the mound for the Samsung and Drew Ruzinski on the mound for the NC Dinos. Tae-in, another really young pitcher like Min-ho. Tae-in, he's looked solid in his last three starts. He's allowed 6 runs in 18.1 innings. That means in 2 games, if he would have went the full distance, would have been 3 runs per game, which is pretty solid, of course. Drew Ruzinski on the mound for the Dinos, like I had said, a 2.05 ERA and a 3.76 FIP. Ruzinski, he's 9-1 on the season. He's already had 2 games versus Samsung, 1-0 with a 1.3 ERA in those 2 games against Samsung. I like the under 4.5 in the first 5 for this game as well, which is probably around even money, as was the Twins Riz game, which is even money. That's why the 5.5 you're probably getting that around -125, -130, which is also really good too. And if I see that, I would take that over the 4.5, of course. So
Okay.
definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, under 4.5 first 5 for the Dinos and Lions game. And I'd also lean towards Dinos -1.5.
Okay, Rob Cook's in the chat, and he's talking about rain Have you got any more positivity, Rob? I mean, rain, we don't want rain. We had enough rain when we was doing the Taiwanese baseball. Now we're going to go on to the Giants and the Wyverns. But Rob, while we're chatting about this, tell me what games where you're worried about rain. But Jay, Giants and Wyverns, please.
Well, I can tell you what games he's worried about. It's the Hanwha Kia game and the NC Dinos and Samsung Lions game. Those two games have projected rain, but obviously nothing set in stone, and they can definitely play the game. Anyway, going on to the Lotte Giants and SK Wyverns game. A great morning for us. Had the banker SK Wyverns as an underdog. Looks like we moved the line a little bit because towards the end of the before the game began, the SK Wyverns were minus 120 and the Lotte Giants were minus 115. So it looks like we moved the line a little bit. Pat on the back. Just kidding. It wasn't me. But anyway, SK Wyverns with the walk-off home run to get the win for us. I'm going right back to the SK Wyverns at minus 140. I'll even look at under 10.5 in this matchup. Lee Jian-wook on the mound for SK. This is a guy that we faded all the time earlier in the season and stabbed us in the back every single time. Now I'm comfortable with him. He's been great at home. He's also been really good in his last 4 starts as well, limiting walks, which was a problem for him earlier in the season. So I like Lee Jian-wook in this spot for SK. They're hitting really well, going up against Jangwon Sam of the Lotte Giants. The Lotte Giants are now 12-22 on the road this season, and Won Sam is coming off a brutal start where he allowed 6 runs his last time out, and he really hasn't been good in any of his starts this season. So SK Wyverns at minus 140, I still think there's value there, even at minus 140 for a bad team like the Wyverns. They played a lot better as of late. So official play, SK Wyverns minus 140.
Yeah, they have played better late. Remember, they were like marooned at the bottom of the league, and they grabbed themselves and they pulled themselves up, and they've turned a corner for me. And the Lotte Giants, well, listen, they have plenty more losses because they had all their wins early on. They give me your official plays in the KBO, please, Jay.
So we're going to go with the under 4.5 in the first 5 for the Twins and Wiz game. If you see 5.5, then I will look for that as well. It will be 5.5 if that's available for me in my New Jersey books. So I'll say under 5.5 first 5 for that game. And that'll also be my banker play, especially if it's at 5.5. I love that play for the Twins and Wiz game. Also, SK Wyverns at minus 140 over the Lotte Giants. And then again, the Lions Dinos game under 4.5 in the first 5. If you see 5.5 there, definitely take that as well. I'll definitely be looking for a 5.5. But what I saw this morning, it was 4.5. So if you see 5.5, obviously take it.
Yeah, let's have a little chat with the boys in the chat. So Daniel, I can't tell what's official, what's a lean. Well, that's why I say to them, can you give me your official plays in the KBO at the end of each segment, Daniel? Okay, so now, but you've been here long enough. You know the way that we do things. Richard Sutherland says, what about the game total for Lotte? And what about team total for SKJ?
So you're looking at the Lotte Giants game, which is right now it's at 10.5. So like I said, I would go under 10.5 in that one. And then what was the other game you asked about?
No, it's the same one, but I want the team total for the Wyverns.
The team total for the Wyverns is sitting at 5.5, which is definitely something I would not be hitting.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably a good number. Okay, well, Daniel's saying I got it now. Daniel, you have seen more shows than anybody else. Come on, my lad. Sharpen up because we've only got 2 to go and you want to be sharp when we get to the MLB. Okay, game 2 of 6 when we go to the NPB. It's a Pacific Division. And the Eagles and the Buffaloes, and this was the biggest upset we have seen since we started the shows, Jay.
Yeah, wow. The Buffaloes won 10-3, but I did mention that Andrew Albers was on the mound for the Orix Buffaloes. The better pitcher was on the mound for the Buffaloes in that matchup. But, yeah, you don't expect 10 runs out of the Buffaloes ever, which was really impressive. And then there was rain involved in that game as well. So just a bunch of chaotic stuff. But, I'm going to lean in this one. I'm not going to make an official play. But I would lean towards Rakuten Eagles coming back here, bouncing back, minus 1.5. I'd look at over 8.5 and even look at the Rakuten Eagles team total, which is probably around 4.5. If it's at 5.5, I wouldn't touch it. But if you see it at 4.5, I would definitely take a look at that as well. Hideki Wakui on the mound for the Rakuten Eagles. He's 4-0 in 4 games started this season, 3.75 ERA. So he's been really good. However, he's allowed 20 hits and 7 walks. So that's 27 base runners in 24 innings. But still, 1.13 whip. Really solid for Hideki Wakui. And then going up against Yu Suzuki of Orix. Yu Suzuki has a 5 ERA with a 1.22 whip, 9.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, but also walking 5.5 batters per 9 innings as well. So, yeah, this one a little tricky. Yu Suzuki's been pretty good. Hideki Wakui's been pretty good. But at the end of the day, Rakuten, they've been hitting a ton with Wakui on the mound this season. I don't think that stops here, especially with Suzuki walking 5.5 batters per 9 innings, which is definitely a little reckless there. So, yeah, I look at over 8.5, Rakuten minus 1.5, and Eagles team total. But for me, I'm staying away.
Okay, Jay, let's just educate a few people and myself. Now, we always say that a 1.6 whip is bordering on mediocrity. How bad is a 1.22 and what is a good number for the whip?
Yeah, so if we're talking MLB, you're looking at like a 1 whip being good. Obviously, in these leagues, they're not nearly as impressive. So, yeah, a 1.2 whip really isn't bad. If you're at near like a 1.6, a 1.7, that's a little high in any league. I would say 1.1, 1.2 is pretty good in the KBO and NPB. Anything higher at a 1.4 or higher, it gets a little reckless there, and you get a little scared with the pitchers for sure.
No, it's good. It's good for people to notice because they can actually stick that on their memo board, and then when they hear you say the number, it like flash up. Like yesterday, I remember you said amazing, banker, and then obviously we look and it paid out, which is always nice. Hawks and the Fighters are up next, Jay.
Yeah, so the Hawks ruined my entire day this morning. Only scored 1 run, 2-1, and lost 2-1. I don't know what happened to the offense, but it was gone. It went missing. But I do expect the offense to come back in this one. We have 2 former MLB starters going in this matchup. Tsuyoshi Wada for SoftBank, who originally played for the Cubs. Nick Martinez going for Nippon Fighters, originally played for, I think, the Rangers and maybe a couple other teams throughout his journey as well. So, yeah, I think SoftBank Hawks in the first 5 at minus 1.5 would be the play in this one. Tsuyoshi Wada, he's coming off a 1-hit outing in 6 innings against Orix. Orix and Nippon Fighters both have kind of the worst offenses in this division, so you'd expect Wada to come out there and perform just like he did against the Orix Buffaloes and perform against Nippon Fighters as well. Nick Martinez on the mound for Nippon, a 4.3 ERA this season. He's allowed 24 hits and 10 walks in 23 innings. So, again, a 1.48 whip when Wada has a 1.08 whip. So, wow. Wada been a lot better keeping runners off the bases, and Martinez hasn't. So, with that said, yeah, I like SoftBank in the first 5 at minus 0.5. I do think the SoftBank Hawks come out to an early lead off of Martinez. Martinez, in his last start, had 5 walks and 4 earned runs. Batters are also hitting him with a 276 average. So if he's struggling with walks now and he's struggling with batting average, you expect the SoftBank Hawks to score enough runs in the first 5 innings to win the first 5. So SoftBank Hawks minus 0.5 will be an official play for me in the NPB.
Excellent. So basically, we're just going to go for the first 5 innings, and that's it. We don't care what happens after that. Now, the Lions and the Marines, they don't trust either of these two, to be fair, Jay.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And, the pitching matchup is pretty equal. We have one guy with a 6.17 ERA, another guy with a 5.95 ERA. Both these guys have whips of 1.54 and 1.57. That's Ojima with a 5.95 ERA and Takahashi with a 6.17 ERA. So, of course, I'd recommend over 10 in this matchup. Both guys have allowed at least 10 hits per 9 innings, and both have walked at least 3.5 or more batters per 9 innings as well. They both been getting hit with homers recently as well. Ojima with 4 home runs and Takahashi allowing 3 home runs in 4 starts this season. So, yeah, I like the over in this one. The over would have hit this morning. I think the over hit in this one as well. But for me, staying away because with the Marines and the Lions, it's just been so hard to figure them out.
Okay, 75 watching, 42 thumbs up. High percentage, not high enough though. Give us a thumbs up. Well, not me, just give it to Jay. Okay, official plays in the Pacific Division, game 2 of 3, please, Jay.
Yeah, we're going to go right back to the SoftBank Hawks at first 5, minus -0.5, which is around minus 110. So, yeah, that's the only official play in that division.
Okay, let's go Central Division game 2 of 3. Remember, there's 6 in the Pacific, but only a 3-game series in the Central. And we're going to start off with, it's just like playing the Hanwha Eagles. It's the Tigers and the Fish, with the Fish being Hiroshima Carp.
Well, in baseball, it's a funny game because, teams have to win at some point, right? And so, yeah, I would lean towards Hiroshima Carp here at plus 110. I think they have the better pitcher on the mound. And just the better, yeah, like I said, the better pitcher on the mound. I think that's really what it comes down to. It's pretty even. Onoki Garcia on the mound for the Tigers. He has a 1.57 whip. Again, we talked about this. When you have a 1.6 whip or above, it's pretty sketchy. Well, he's walked 6.2 batters per 9 innings, and that's really the reason why his whip is so high, because of the amount of batters that he's walked this season. But again, Hanshin Tigers, they've been really good, at home this season, which it scares me to bet against them. And that's why it's just a lean for me. Yozuki Nomura going for Hiroshima. This will be his first start of the season for Hiroshima. He was in the minor leagues before this. But in the minors, he was 1-2, but had a 2.92 ERA, had 21 strikeouts, 9 walks. He wasn't bad at all. He's not a minor league pitcher. Just started out in the minor leagues this season. He went 71 and 52 for his career in the NPB with a 3.38 ERA, which is very respectable for a pitcher in the NPB. So yeah, I think Nomura. I think they've seen enough out of him to say, yeah, we'd like to see what back up in the NPB and perform. So I think that he will perform at a high level. But again, this one, it's a tough one for me. I think the Carp they have some value there as underdogs.
Okay, and just like clockwork, as soon as you mention the Carp, you've got DV LS Cat saying, I hate the Fish. Well, we know, I think there's plenty of you that don't like that. They don't like the Carp, they don't trust the Carp, but sometimes you just got to look at the numbers. But Hanshin Tigers, they were the winners yesterday, and we were on. Okay, the Baystars and the Swallows. Now, you try and get these right, Jay.
Yeah, I can't get it right. Whatever I try, whatever I do. But I got some good news for everyone in the chat and for you, because this is personal at this point. We got Gabriel Noah on the mound. The walking fade, of course. Gabriel Noah on the mound for the Swallows, going up against Haruhiro Hamaguchi for the Baystars. Of course, the official play over 8.5 in this game. Gabriel Noah has a 7.88 ERA through 4 games this season. He's allowed 28 hits and 6 walks in 16 innings pitched. Has a whip of 2.13, which is dreadful. So Noah hasn't got one win, hasn't won a single thing in foreign league play since his start in the NPB and where he pitched before the NPB through 10 starts and 16 outings so far. So he's been awful in foreign leagues. But then Hamaguchi, you look at his ERA, it's a 2.22. It's like, all right, he's doing pretty well. But that's far from the case. In 24.1 innings, he's allowed 26 hits and 16 walks. So you do the math, that's a ridiculous amount of runners on base through 4 games this season to just have a 2.22 ERA. He also has a 1.73 whip, which is really brutal too. So yeah, the over just 8.5 with 2 guys with a whip of greater than 1.6 with a walking fade and a guy that's walking 6 batters per 9 innings. I'm all over the 8.5 as my play for the NPB in that matchup.
Yeah, we love it when you say personal, and so does Jose Farfan. Also, Brandon Saunders says, I found 5.5 in the first innings, or the first 5 innings for LG as well, and he's given out, obviously, where you can find that as well. But remember to go to sportsbookreview.com, and there's about 10 or maybe 12 different books there. And when you're coming into the MLB, then you're going to need to have that variety, because you've got to stay sharp and you've got to make sure you get the value and don't go chasing awful odds, because all of a sudden, even when you have a winner, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth that someone next to you has got like 0.2 above you. Now let's go with the last one. It's the Dragons and the Giants. Giants, for me, the best side in the Central. Do they win again, Jay?
Yeah, I don't see why not. They have a rookie sensation on the mound. His name is Soshi Togo for the Giants. Has a 1.89 ERA in 3 games started this season. And if you look at his 5 starts throughout his entire career, he had 2 starts last season in the NPB. He went 4-0 if you combine these 5 games. 4-0 with a 1.95 ERA. He's just 20 years old, like I said. So he's been phenomenal. 15 strikeouts in 3 games. Through 19 innings, he's been really good. Takahiro Matsuba going on the mound for the Dragons. 1.69 ERA, but just 1 game started this season. He spent most of his time in the minor leagues this season. In those 2 minor league stints, had a 5.54 ERA, and he's also went 28 and 39 in his NPB career. But in that 1 start he went 1.1 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. He looked good, but if he would have played the entire 9 innings, he would have allowed 10.1 hits per 9 innings, which is more than 1 hit per inning. So that scares me enough to say the Giants will be able to hit off of Matsuba. Again, the Giants are one of the better hitting teams, if not the best hitting team in the league. So the Giants over 4.5 team total for me will be an official play. I'd even look at the Giants at minus 1.5, minus 130. The over-under is 7.5, but with Togo on the mound, I would just stick with the Giants at over 4.5 and not worry about what the Dragons do because they've been really inconsistent with their hitting.
Yeah, listen, I think it looks like an overs game anyway. So, I mean, listen, earlier on, I mean, I noticed some people with the Eagles and Buffaloes, they went over thinking that the Eagles were going to cover. They were on the wrong side, and yet they still picked up a winning ticket because they was on the over, and sometimes that happens. I mean, I've been on the wrong side of a soccer match and said both teams to score no because I think a team's going to win easy, and they got crushed. But both teams didn't score, and I ended up winning. It's like, it can work in your favour like that. Now, okay, give us the official plays in Central, please, Jay.
So we're going to go with the over 8.5 for the Baystars and Swallows game. We'll also look at the Giants over 4.5 the team total.
Okay, and I can tell you that minus 1.5 with the Giants is popular in the chat. 47. We only need 3 more thumbs up, so you've got a little bit of time to put your thumbs up. Why I say to you that if you enjoy this video and there's only 1 more to go, and that'll be tomorrow, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we can notify you, and you'll never miss any more content. We will make sure that if it's MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, all the soccer shows, you are not going to miss one. So you can just sit back and we'll do the driving. Okay, also if you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to Jay's articles, and it's articles because he's not just doing one, he's doing a couple of them, and you will have great fun. Last reminder, Thursday, 1:30 Eastern time. Jay and Donnie will be here. MLB is back. Go and enjoy it. The big guns are back. Jay, good luck tonight. Everyone in the chat, good luck. Hope you have all your winners. Come on, the Bears. And I fancy the Giants at minus 1.5 in the Central as well. Jay, good luck, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good luck, everyone.
Everyone in the chat, have a great day. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow being the last show. Come and say hello. Give us a thumbs up. And we'll see you again soon. You take care.